And we are live. Welcome in. I'm Jesse Schule from jesseschule.com. You might know me from Sports Memo, Picks and Parlays, Sports Capping, various other handicapping websites around the internet. And I have decided in 2023 I want to start live streaming at the end of every day to review the results, the picks I've put out there, and sort of offer a self critique of where things went right, where things went wrong. It's a little late. It's 10:30 p.m. Pacific time on a regular weekday or a Saturday, probably just wrapping up the end of the late slate. But because it's Sunday, those games have finished a few hours ago. But rather successful Sunday for me and those who followed me. 3-1 card, 2-1 with NFL. Let's break it down and have a look at how things panned out. Starting with the early college basketball, I did have Penn State money line against Michigan. It was a rocking chair winner. Penn State was up by almost 20 at halftime. And no surprises, really everything worked out exactly as expected. Penn State very strong at home. They came in with a 10-1 home record. Michigan came in with a 1-3 road record. Michigan doesn't look as strong as they have in recent seasons. Penn State maybe looks a little better. Yeah, I mean, really not a lot to critique there. Everything sort of worked out. I mean, I guess the only critique could be some might complain about laying 165 on the money line. My philosophy is there's so many college basketball games decided by 3 points or less. I often take money lines in that price range, 170 and below, to avoid laying the 2.5, 3 point spreads. Higher winning percentage. You have to hit a higher percentage to make money when you're laying that kind of price. I have consistently displayed the ability to do that, so that is my strategy. College basketball hasn't been great for me so far this season. I did have really fantastic start to college football, NFL. My start with college basketball was rather poor. My New Year's resolution was to improve on that. And so far in 2023, hitting over 70% with college hoops. So we're right back in the swing of things, right where we want to be. And now it becomes more important than ever to have success with college basketball. College basketball will take center stage February and March as we approach the Super Bowl. Only one game left in the NFL. So let's look at today's conference championship games. Really, not a lot of surprises. I did go 2-1. I had the under in both games. The one loss being the San Francisco first half play, or San Francisco as an underdog at Philly. And if we look at that game, what happened? Brock Purdy goes down early, and things went south from there. To be fair, the way the Eagles played on defense, the way they ran the ball, that might not have mattered. But my analysis on the game was that a lot of people were talking about a rookie quarterback and how a rookie quarterback couldn't win or wouldn't win. And my analysis was that Jalen Hurts is a young quarterback that hasn't really proved himself in the playoffs. Purdy has been on a roll since he stepped in. I wasn't buying the whole rookie quarterback narrative. I did have a lot of faith in San Francisco's defense. Perhaps I overrated their ability to stop Philadelphia's offensive line. However, like I say, I did cash in the ticket on the under. And when we look at the box score in that game, we see that Philly only had 269 yards, total yards. They benefited a lot from the 3 fumbles of San Francisco. Of course, when they knocked Purdy out early, they're facing Josh Johnson. So who knows how the game would have developed if Purdy could have stayed in there and stayed healthy. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he did what he needed to do, but he only threw for 121 yards on 15 of 25 passing. So it's not like he was lighting it up. And, will he get in a position in the Super Bowl where that's not going to be good enough when he's trying to match serves with Patrick Mahomes? I guess we'll see. Let's look at the other game. I did have only the under in the Kansas City Cincinnati game. That one sort of went according to schedule. Joe Burrow threw for 270 yards, a touchdown. He was picked off twice. He was sacked 5 times. I did mention on a lot of the shows I do, I know I did a show with Sean Higgs and Ross Benjamin. I mentioned that, Cincinnati's offensive line was decimated. It was considered to be a big weakness. The Bengals went into Buffalo and they steamrolled the Bills, and everybody sort of forgot. I think that was my comment, my analysis, that Cincinnati was coming in with a lot of recency bias. People looked at what they did against Buffalo. Um, they forgot that this offensive line could be an issue, and I did mention that just because they didn't have any problems against Buffalo doesn't mean they're going to come into Arrowhead and not have any problems against Kansas City. And sure enough, that is what happened. It was a close game. Kansas City winning on a field goal late. I mean, the previous matchups between these teams have all been close games. I did say that I didn't actually have Kansas City in the game. I just had the under, but I did say there is no value backing Cincinnati at that price coming into Kansas City. They were a 5.5 point underdog in last year's playoff game. So getting them at a pick 'em, a small favorite or a small dog, no value there. Even if you think they're going to win, it's not a great bet to make, in my opinion. And my opinion was correct on that game. And now let's look at the Super Bowl odds. We've got apparently Kansas City opened as a 1 point favorite, but money has poured in on Philly. We see Philly -2 to 2.5, and the total 49.5 to 50. I'm not going to make a decision on which way I'm going to go there yet. You got to wonder about Jalen Hurts, his shoulder. He hasn't thrown for a lot of yards. You might want to look at the under there with the Philly defense looking so dominant. And I guess Patrick Mahomes, the injury, the high ankle sprain, perhaps a little blown out of proportion. There was a lot of talk about how limited Mahomes was going to be coming into this week's game. He looked pretty good. He threw for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I did say that I expected Mahomes to throw an interception. I gave out a prop bet on that on the OSGA show with Ross and Sean Higgs. So that was a knock on me there. Although I did also have Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, so perhaps those two cancel each other out. I'm certainly going to be looking at the Travis Kelce anytime touchdown for the Super Bowl prop. Kelce has now scored touchdowns in every playoff game he's played in the last several seasons. So, I expect the price to be high, but I would say anything under 170 for Kelce anytime touchdown, and I think you got to ride it. I think he's a weapon, and he's hard to defend. The Eagles have a great defense, but I think they'll have their hands full with Mahomes and Kelce. My knee-jerk reaction was a little bit of seeing the Mahomes as an underdog. Just the quarterback comparison here, Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts. I sort of had an early lean towards Kansas City, and I thought to myself, well, when's the last time we've seen the Chiefs really get completely shut down in the playoffs? I sort of had this idea that Mahomes and the Chiefs always get their points. Something occasionally they lose, but they still score points. But after looking at their last Super Bowl appearance, losing 31-9 to Tampa Bay, Mahomes was awful in that game, 270 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. I guess that's if you like Philly, that's what you're expecting to see here. I'm not sure about that. I will say that the last time Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, I did not have a side in that game. Just didn't pick a winner. I went 5-0 with all my picks in that Super Bowl, loaded up with prop bets. I had the over and I had a ton of props. Loved the way that game finished. Going 5-0 in the Super Bowl is what we're there to do. hopefully we can do that again this year. Certainly will be putting out a load of props. Uh, and as far as tomorrow's card, Monday, it is $9 Monday at sportsmemo.com. So far, I've got one NBA game up, and NBA, yeah, again, as I said with college basketball, I got off to a pretty poor start with college hoops. I also got off to a poor start with NBA. And at the time, I was concentrating on college football. I did finish top 5 in the world again this year with college football. All-time record with college football is stellar. You could research that at sportscapping.com. And yeah, a poor start with NBA, but again, turn that around in 2023, hitting at a pretty good clip right now. And if you go to sportscapping.com, check the all-time NBA leaderboards. You will not find me number one in units earned because I don't play enough games to climb up the leaderboards and be number one with total units. But at win percentage, with handicappers with over 1,000 games under their belt, I am number one in win percentage at sportscapping.com in the NBA. So certainly have a long history of success betting the NBA. My strategy is a little bit different than a lot of people. I don't follow the NBA as closely during football season. I start following it a little bit closer this time of year, and then of course as we approach the playoffs, we get into the playoffs. I'm betting on almost every game during the playoffs, and that's where I've had most of my success. In fact, I've had tremendous success in the NBA finals, betting on prop bets on who's going to win the finals and how many games, who's going to win MVP. I believe my record the last 6 seasons is 20-6 on NBA finals futures bets. So look forward to that again this June. As far as this live stream goes, it's something I want to do. I want to start doing this every day, reviewing the day's card. And lucky for me today, coming off of a 3-1 card, it wasn't so painful. It is my first live stream, so I apologize if things don't seem to be running smoothly. But certainly there will be days in the future where I go 0-5 or 1-3, and it'll be a little bit more difficult to sit here and explain myself and justify my poor picks, because that losing is something that is going to happen to every handicapper. At the end of the day, guys like me win more than they lose, but I'm trying to put likes, not angry faces. I did not see that, Grant Anthony, your likes and angry faces, but I appreciate your attempt to put up likes. Comment from Grant Anthony. Because it is my first live stream, I don't know how to put the comments on the screen, but I can see them coming in, and I certainly appreciate any comments and any questions you might have. Anyways, my plan is every night at the end of the night after the late games end, plan to come. Oh, Grant Anthony. Oh, so your name has changed from Grant Miller. I do remember Grant Miller from years back. A guy betting on Twitter, gambling Twitter, I believe. I do believe I remember Grant Miller. Anyways, so I plan to come on after every night after the late games end and break down the day's card and do a bit of a post-mortem, break down my analysis, what I went into the game expecting to see, where I was right and where I was wrong. We did pretty good today. Like I said, I certainly predicted the offensive line struggles for the Cincinnati Bengals. My one losing play today was the San Francisco first half bet or San Francisco straight up. And with the Purdy injury, I can certainly excuse myself and whether or not that actually would have made a difference. I mean, I could see a lot of people saying, listen, Philly steamrolled them and they were always going to steamroll them. But I mean, you never know. Certainly, I like San Francisco's chances a little better if Purdy stays upright and doesn't get hurt in that game. And I mean, it looks like the public is firmly on Philly in the Super Bowl. I can see as high as 65% of tickets so far backing Philadelphia, and the line has moved to 2 to 3 points. And I guess Philly's rolling, that offensive line, that running game. I'm still a little bit skeptical, though. At the end of the day, you're going to have Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes. Quarterback, obviously, the most important position on the field. You look at what that Kansas City defense did this today, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be easy to pick the winner here. And I'm not even sure that I'm going to pick a side, to be honest with you. As I mentioned, the Eagles Patriots. I don't know if that was Super Bowl 50, but I didn't pick a side. I just had the total and a bunch of props, and I ended up going 5-0. So that approach is certainly on the table if I decide to go that route. Let's see. Another thing I want to do in these live streams is offer a discount on my picks at my site, only for people that are actually watching the live stream. So the price will be discounted while I'm streaming. And as soon as the stream's over, I'm going to go in and take that off the board. So for those who are tuning in, they can take advantage of the discount. And today's discount at jesseschule.com is a monthly all access subscription for all sports for just $99. That is a lot cheaper than you can get it anywhere else. Works out to about $3 a day. Let's see, for the last 30 days, I'm hitting about 65% for over 10,000 units profit. So, pretty good investment for those who subscribed a month ago. They're sitting pretty right now with an extra 10 grand in the bank. So, obviously this gambling business is a little uncertain. There's no guarantees we can do that every month, but I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be on all these sites if I wasn't doing it more often than not. Those of you who have followed me over the years certainly know that. And let's keep it rolling. Really excited about the college basketball and the March Madness tournament coming up. And then follow that up with the NBA playoffs. That has been my bread and butter over the years. In fact, I've been referred to as Mr. March. March, I believe, is the best. And of course, March is still over a month away, but I really look forward to March for the reason of college basketball, the conference tournaments, the NCAA tournament. The NBA really starts to heat up. You see a lot less load management in March than you do in December and November as teams jockey for playoff position. The NHL also teams jockeying for playoff position. I believe that the professional sports and college sports gets more predictable in the month of March than it is in the month of December and January. So certainly looking forward to some success here coming up in the next few months. And I hope you all can trust me enough to join me, or at the very least, follow me on my videos and follow my free picks. I'm certainly not trying to hard sell on anybody. I find that my results speak for themselves. And when I go on a win streak, I don't have to ask anybody to buy anything, because when people see you winning, they're banging down your door. That's my experience anyways. Literally banging down your door. In fact, I had a guy accost me in the airport in Bangkok a couple of years ago, and he purchased a 1-year subscription for $1,600 right there in the airport. He was so excited. And I was just trying to tell him to leave me alone because I was traveling with my family, and I guess he wanted attention, and that's the best way he could have got it. So these things happen, and these things happen a lot more when you're winning. So let's keep the winning going. But I think I'll end this live stream. I don't, it's my first live stream. Don't have a lot to talk about today. Looking forward to another one tomorrow, and we'll keep them going, see how it goes, and looking forward to coming in and breaking down the day's card, examining where we went right and where we went wrong. I think that a lot of bettors could benefit from that. I think that's something that people need to do. Is every day when you make your bets, you have your results come in, whether they're good or bad, whether you win or lose. You need to re-examine each game and see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And if you're making any mistakes, you correct those mistakes. And even, I've been doing this for a couple decades. I'm a seasoned pro. Everybody makes mistakes because the game changes. That it's always a constant struggle to stay ahead of the bookmakers. So if you're arrogant and you think you've already got it all figured out, and you just keep on doing the same thing that you were successful with years in the past, you're going to fail eventually, because you need to be constantly evolving in this business. And part of that is paying attention to what's going on every day, every game you bet on, reviewing where you went in, what your thought process was coming into it, what you got right, what you got wrong, and then make adjustments on the fly. So hopefully I can help everybody be better at that. And we're going to call it a night. And I'd like to thank Grant Anthony for tuning in. Hopefully we get more comments and more people tuning in as we go along. So thank you for tuning in, guys, and good night.